Welcome, scholars, to the Stream Religion class on Thursday. This is for 1st to 4th grade, 5th to 6th grade. And it's Joseph the Dreamer. So this is part 2 of Joseph the Dreamer. Okay? So now Joseph's brothers, the 10 brothers, right? 11 brothers actually, as a result of their jealousy toward Joseph, they sold him into slavery to the Ishmaelites. So the Ishmaelites took Joseph into Egypt, and he happened to end up in the house of a man called Potiphar. So Potiphar was a very wealthy Egyptian who took Joseph on as a slave. But Joseph was a good man. He worked very hard in Potiphar's house, right? And as he worked very hard in Potiphar's house, one day Potiphar's wife started to get interested in Joseph. Okay, so she accused Joseph of kissing her, which is serious. Okay, so Potiphar got mad. Joseph's master got mad, and they threw Joseph into prison. He was in prison for more than 9 years. Can you believe this? For a crime he did not commit. Okay, but Joseph continued to trust God, and he continued to dream, because that was his gift. You see, his gift was to dream and interpret dreams. You remember he dreamt, right, and told his brothers. That's why they got jealous of him and wanted to kill him. But then they finally decided to sell him into slavery. So we're going to continue, right? Now Joseph has been sold into slavery. He's been taken to Egypt, right? So this is the story that's following. And what I want to really challenge you to do is look to your life and see the gifts God has given you. Okay? Now it's not meant for you, because the very gifts God has given you, you're supposed to use these gifts to serving others, right? And as Joseph continued to serve others with his gifts, somebody came to prison. Joseph interpreted his dream for him. He was released, and he went and told Pharaoh, when Pharaoh had a dream, that there's a guy in the prison who can tell him what his dream means. That's how Joseph got free. And when he interpreted the dream for Pharaoh, Pharaoh made him like the vice president of Egypt. So you see what your gifts can do to you. Okay, so never give up. Whether people hate on you, whether people are jealous of you, whether people talk bad about you, remember, ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching on to freedom land. This is very, very important. So let's continue the story. So it says, meanwhile, Father will ask us what happened to Joseph. Let's tell him Joseph was eaten by wild animals. I have an idea. So that's what the brothers did. So the brothers brought Joseph's bloodied coat back to Jacob. A wild animal attacked us, Father. Joseph gave his life to save us. He died a hero. But this brought little comfort to Jacob, whose heart was broken. So Joseph's father's heart was what? Was just broken because of what had happened. And so Joseph came to Egypt in chains. The Ishmaelites had sold him to a wealthy and powerful merchant called Potiphar. Potiphar's estate was far grander than anything Joseph had seen before. Joseph was eager to learn about this new world. Okay, good. He worked hard, hoping Potiphar would notice him and perhaps help him. Thank you, Joseph. You are so helpful. We should discuss your future soon. Oh, I've dropped my handkerchief. Now, this was Potiphar's wife. Here, I'll get it, my lady. Joseph! So as Joseph was getting the hanky, look at what Potiphar's wife did. She tried to kiss him, frame him up. How dare you kiss my wife? Oh, my husband, you came just in time. Grr. But I did nothing wrong. Enough. I'll have you thrown in jail for this. Guards, take him out of my sight. So again, Joseph was taken away. And now Joseph feared he would never see the light of day again. But even in prison, in the deepest, darkest cell, Joseph was kind and helpful to everyone he met. It soon became known among other prisoners that Joseph was wise and thoughtful, and that he had a knack for making sense of dreams. It wasn't long before the guards also came to Joseph for advice. They could see he was special, and they gave him gifts of extra food and conversation. Those kind words meant so much for Joseph because most of the time he was very much alone. In his loneliness, he saw only darkness around him. Sometimes it felt as if it was pressing on him, crushing him. The days seemed to blend together. But Joseph never lost hope, for every night in his dreams, the sun, the moon, and the stars would come to him. They lit up his world every time he closed his eyes. But when he opened his eyes, he was still in darkness. For 9 long years, Joseph's life continued in this way. One day, 2 men were put into Joseph's cell. I'm Pharaoh's baker. I'm Pharaoh's butler. Neither knew if they would live or die, and both had been having vivid dreams. Tell me of these dreams which haunt you, and I will tell you their meaning. In the butler's dream, he was picking grapes from the Pharaoh's garden. He crushed them into a fine, fragrant wine. Then he served his wine to Pharaoh, who drank deeply from the cup. This is a good dream. Whatever upset Pharaoh will pass. He will soon release you and restore you to your position. In the baker's dream, he found himself walking, carrying 3 baskets of bread for Pharaoh. Suddenly, many birds swept down from the sky, and they ate of this bread until it was gone. I'm afraid this is a bad sign. 3 baskets, 3 days. Pharaoh has set the date for your execution. I hope I'm wrong about this. But as the days wore on, Joseph's predictions proved to be true. I'm free. I'm going back to Pharaoh's palace. I'll tell Pharaoh of your plight. He will release you. But Joseph would remain in the darkness of his prison cell for another 2 years. The butler must have forgotten his promise. So, ladies and gentlemen, scholars, this is where kind of like we will bring the class to a close, okay? Continue to just read the story. But what I want to tell you is keep on dreaming. Now, this story about Joseph, like I've said from the beginning, is like a story about Jesus, okay? Who was betrayed, sold for 30 pieces of silver. Joseph was sold for 20 pieces of silver. They did a lot of mean things to Jesus. So did they do a lot of mean things to Joseph, right? But as the story unfolds, you begin to see that this same Joseph who was betrayed, he's the one who came to save his people, just like Jesus, okay? So God bless you. Continue to finish the work and send me your assignments in my email so that I can grade your papers. God bless you. Be safe.